We are a trio of passionate anglers who have fished far and wide across the nation. We have braved the turbulent Colorado, fended the Cumberland Wake, and have mastered the Atlantic abyss. We have come to the conclusion that the Commonwealth of Kentucky harbors the finest fishing east of the Mississippi and south of the Mason-Dixon.
There are three main types of water to fish in old Kentucky. You have the creek, the river, and the lake. The main creeks to fish in are Elkhorn Creek, Clear Creek, Hickman Creek, and best of all, Bone Lick Creek. Then you have the rivers, the Kentucky River, the Dix River, and the old Ohio River. Next we have the lakes, the Cumberland Lake, Harrington Lake, Kentucky Lake, Beaver Creek Lake, Nolan Lake, Laurel Lake, Cave Run Lake, Taylorsville Lake, Paintsville Lake, Cedar Lake, and Dewey Lake, and much more lakes.
There are various techniques used to fish in Kentucky. First, the cast and draw. Pretty self-explanatory. You cast your line, you draw her in. Number two, noodling. It's where you stick your old kissed arm down in that hole there in the front of the bank and pull out a big old cat. C, it's illegal in some parts if you don't mark your jug. It's called jugging. Now, if you mark your jug when you tie the line to the milk jug or the milk carton or whatever you have, it's illegal. So you better just mark your jug. 4 is trolling. That's where you put out lines behind the boat and you troll down the river, down the lake, whatever, what have you. And you troll. And you just pull out the line behind you and they'll bite on there and grab on, you reel them in, you eat them. And then lastly you got fly fishing. It's a little more rare in Kentucky, but you see it happening, creeks and such. Fly fishing, you fish with a fly.
First, we'll start with one of your most basic lures that'll catch you just about anything in the market. It's called the rooster tail. Now hold it up here. You can see if you cast her out nice and far and you spin her back in, she gets nice and good action. Next, and that's best for creek fishing. Another good creek fisher is the Crawdaddy lure. Right here, you cast that out and say the Elkhorn Creek. You spin her back in, get some good action with that tail, start flipping up and down. Them smallmouth bass, they'll hit them. Now next we got you an average sized crankbait. Now these are used in bigger bodies of water such as lakes, best in the Cumberland Lake. You can cast that out around the rocky bottoms and swim her back in. Good fishing. Now we'll show you some plastics. We got some plastic worms. These are black in color. There's all sorts of colors. There's red accent. We've also got Crawdaddy.
You take these and you run them through a good old hook. Sometimes the hook will be big, sometimes small, depending on the fish size you're going for.
There's a good worm hook. There's also smaller hooks for fish such as crappie.
Good thing to do when you're fishing with worms, put out a good old bobber.
Yeah.
She'll bites for you when she gets a bite. Let you know you got fish.
Now when you start hitting fool's gold, as we like to say, you're going to want you to have yourself a stringer. Now what you do here is you feed this middle piece through the mouth, out through the side gill, string her down on the rope to the very end, hook her on the side of your boat, let them swim. They'll stay alive fresh fishing if you ain't got a live well. It's a good device. You can also put these down on the shore if you're bank fishing. Works just the same. Now next, we got various types of weights. We got the little clamp weights, looks like Pac-Man when you open the mouth up. We got bullet weights. We got them. We got, oh yes, and you can't forget the average fingernail clippers, also known as wire clippers. Now if you're running some heavy test wire, you might need the golden clippers. They clip higher test string.
Them golden clippers is hard to find.
If I may interject,
Yes, sir.
if a fish swallows the lure real deep inside its mouth, it's good to have a couple of near-nose pliers go down way all out, get that thing out of there.
Kind of like you're pulling out of a tooth.
Exactly right.
Here's some test line. This particular line's 10 feet pound test. This will do good for pretty much anything, maybe some catfish, but if you get to some big daddies, you might break this line, so you might need to go to some wire braid line. But pretty much anything you're going to catch, this will withhold. But if you're going crappie, sunfish, panfish, any kind of small fish, you might just need 3-pound line, and it's nicer to have a light pound line if you don't need heavy line, because it'll cast out smoother and nicer. We got some imitation lures. This particular one here is another crawdaddy. It's got some sticky feet to stick to the frogs.
There's frog.
That's a frog, boy.
Daggum, it is. But you know, crawdaddies do evolve to frogs one day. We got another frog here. I reckon it is maybe a half a frog.
A mouse frog.
But yeah, so this is an overview. There's other types. Here, right here's a barrel swivel. Now this is nice to set up nice rigs, such as the Alabama rig. You can hook different types of line test, pound test on your line, connected to the swivel. Maybe some wire braid so they don't bite through when you're fishing with fish with teeth. They can snap your normal test line, so you might need some wire line.
That's right, that's right.
Now, I'm going to tell you about some specific types of fish in Kentucky. We have the bluegill, the green sunfish, rock bass, black crappie or crappie, as some like to call it, white crappie, warm mouth, long ear sunfish, red ear sunfish, rainbow trout, brown trout. Who knew brown trout were in Kentucky? Off to you, Mr. Weber. Why don't you teach Mr. Dick some more about fish?
Alright, Dick. Next up, we got the largemouth. We got the striped bass. We got the hybrid striped bass. We got the smallmouth bass. We got the yellow bass. We got the Kentucky spotted bass. We got the white bass. I believe that's all the bass we got. Now, Nelson, please tell Dick the rest.
Well, Dick, we proceed with the blue catfish. Down here you got the little guy, the bullhead catfish. Got your walleye. Got your sauger. Which are rare in Kentucky. You got your flathead cats. You got your channel cats. You got your muskellunge, or muskie for those of us who grow up in the hollers. You got your golden red horse, which I caught in a creek one time. You got your drum. You got your carp. You got your carp, which is the garbage can disposal of Kentucky waterways. There you go, Dick. That's the education for Kentucky. So funny.
There are 3 different types of reels that you can have on a fishing rod. This here is a bait caster. This in here is a spinner reel. And Josh, what was that little ditty?
This and here's the push button for all the young kin learning to fish.
Now that you have general knowledge of the various fishing opportunities that the beautiful state of Kentucky offers, we encourage you to wet a line in any local fishing hole that you can find.
Now hunt for bacon, one for two. Thank you.
Thank you. Kindly.